The institute's entrance gate was a masterwork in brass, elegance and strength in equal temperance, gold hue belying the fortitude of a stronger metal. Shut tight. Let's leave and enter the tower. So we are now back from the hallway and we will ascend the staircase. Library, landing, tower, library. The library was cylindrical in structure, occupying in full the 7th to 11th floors of the tower. The first of these constituted a reading area and balcony, followed by 3 floors of mezzanine. Three floors of mezzanine. I could click this, but let's first read all of it. No, let's click it now. The library was cylindrical in structure, occupying in full the 7th to 11th floors of the tower. The first of these constituted a reading area and balcony, followed by 3 floors of mezzanine successively tapering outwards to be supported by sweeping beams and slender columns of wrought iron. The spiral staircase landed on the reading level, below the filigree flow of iron buttress and girder that held up the first mezzanine. This level was furnished with neatly arranged, though signs of struggle marked the floor, where this was not without exception, desks, each set with a single lamp. All this grand structure forsook its purpose, however, as every shelf now held little more than a thin film of dust, their intended contents lying as ashes far below. Centered in emphasis by the form of the library lay a statue with the features of a 3-headed raven, gazing the mournful eyes out over the river, long shadows cast before its stare. I want to step out to the balcony. Balcony, tower, library. The tower cast its shadow over the river to touch the fog-shrouded shore. A small device sits precariously on the stone balustrade. Examine device. An elegant clockwork device, the size of a pocket watch, closed with a latch relief depicting a snake devouring its own tail. Open? Yes. Let me open it. Centered within the interface of the device, a cold brass sigil set above the complex clockwork mechanism. Seemingly activated by the opening of the device, a needle began to protrude from below the sigil in a short and abrupt whir of clockwork. Place finger on protrusion. This sounds dangerous. Okay. An elegant clockwork device the size of a pocket watch, closed with a latch relief depicting a snake devouring its own tail. Its hunger sated, the sigil faded in luminance to that of a low flame's dull glow. Take it. The tower cast its shadow over the river to touch the fog-shrouded shore. Leave. And we are in the library again. Now we examine the balcony. Can I go? Was I already here? No, that's new. Hallway, dark, tower, staircase landing. The 11th floor consisted of a small hallway, acting as a landing and final floor for the spiral staircase. Windowless and unlit, but for faint light seeping in through the frame of the large door, taking up the opposite end of the room. Flanking it were the vague shapes of statues, their forms illegible in the dark. What's that light doing there? Let's descend the staircase. And we are in the library again. Descend the staircase. We are in the atrium. Oh, here's a memory. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Activate memory. We gave them an ultimatum. To spill our blood is to put your word to the fire. There is a special place in the contempt of history for we book burners. But I say that yours is a cold-hearted history indeed, to weigh ink above we living, breathing men and women. In this our siege turned to a weary occupation. The provost held his own in that loft palace of his, and we developed a begrudging respect for his adamants. Maybe this immutability held deference to some grain of truth in that ideology of theirs. But all things have their terminants, and in our world, with its unsleeping machineries of whirring revolutions, the eternal now holds little truth. Like clockwork, in their monotony, the state will respond to the portent of violence and kind, and on the 10th day of our occupation, the 33rd showed their hand. The sight of the artillery cast a surreal pall over us, and we could not imagine their use. In this queer way they proved of little use in threat. Night falls now, and I fear all this ideology of violence will become far less speculative before it's over. Eugenie, V. May 21st, 1908. Continue. Yes, please. That was another memory of Eugenie. Okay, I'd like to return to the terrace and climb the steps. We are on the landing again and return to the balcony. Wait, can I press these symbols? Can I press this one or this one or... No, I can't. They're just there. I can't press them. Follow pathways to below the tower. Also, what does this do? Nothing. Okay. I will follow the pathways to the tower. Did I miss something? Oh, wait, here's another memory. I just switched through the rooms a little bit and I just found another memory in the atrium hallway in the institute. And let's activate it. They say that the first casualty of war is truth, but in this case the provost was the first to fall, hardly an avatar of sincerity. On realizing the consequences of his actions, the poor fool had rushed down to meet the 33rd with flailing arms in a futile attempt to demand they cease fire. Then, either through malice or indifference, the second barrage was launched, heedless of his cries. It's hard to feel pity for a man impaled by gold, in carnage that he himself had unleashed, but this was no victory. The battle, if you could call it that, slaughter being more apt, was over the moment the Imperial infantry breached our meagre barricades and entered the tower. Each man or woman with a weapon, though there were a few, was shot the moment of their surrender. Then they lined us up before the walls, and we knew what was to come. It is here I stand, in full acceptance of my fate, but the bullets never come. An officer enters the hall, and shouting a short phrase in German followed up with a sly smile, he points directly at me. The soldiers fire their deafening volley, and each man before the wall falls, but for each woman not a shot lands. The officer returns and says to me in French, his tone terrifying in its calm demeanor, "We spared you for one reason alone, because your republic would not." Eugenie, 6, May 21st, 1908. Let's continue. Maybe we find more memories. Exam gate remains. Yes, There's another one. At the gate. Another memory. I stand in the livery of the nation of my birth, wearing my true face before those I betrayed, to watch with clear eyes the end I have wrought for them. The order has been sent out, and now I wait for the thunder that will signal the last lines of this final act. A moment of silence below the tower. Then the command to fire rings out across the empty square, to be drowned in turn under the 33rd's deafening barrage, and on impact, the screams of metal and men alike. But this I can hear not. For me, that dread song still played unmatched in volume and held in rapt attention by my helpless mind. Firm and true stands the watch, die Wacht am Rhein. Marcel, 5. May 21st, 1908. I'd like to continue. What remained of the gate had forgotten its elegance. That moment its strength fell before the sheer force of the German artillery barrage. Filigree metalwork twisted and made harsh, to call now to mind the form of a corpse, ribcage exposed. Step over the rubble. Apex, Plaza, Cordonata. Calling to mind the triumphal arches of antiquity, that great arch of the Institute's entrance dominanced its facade to a Palatian effect, further strengthened in emphasis by the twin falls aside it. In darkness at this hour, an underground reservoir received the falls to roar in eerie reverberation. Continuing the path downward, grand steps set in massive slabs began their long descent towards the heart of the plaza, interrupting rhythmically by landings set with small balconies. Enter Institute or descend to landing? Let's enter the Institute. No, that's where I came from. Examine gateways, step over the rubble, and descend to landing. That's right. Landing, Plaza, Cordonata. The steps ended their straight descent with a small landing. That last stretch of vertical distance taken by an appropriately massive imperial staircase, enveloping the central axis of the plaza in a crescent of stone. Ascent to apex. No, wait. No, wait. Yeah, right, we missed that memory. Activate memory.